You're building the empire
and we'll help you protect it.
because even the most powerful women
Still have trust issues.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of Trust Issues. I am one of your hosts, Erica Hall, financial advisor at EH Wealth Advisors, and I'm here with my girl.
Yes. Attorney Urenia Ricks-Johnson with Ricks & Associates, PLLC, and we're so excited today. Today, we're shaking it up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And we are bringing on some guests.
Look, we're not only shaking it up, we're going to step into the fire. And what better way to step into the fire than having some a perspective from both sexes, from both sides of the relationship. We're talking about money and trust. Can you build wealth and still maintain the kind of trust you need? And we're not going to play it easy. We want to tell us exactly what you have to say. So without further ado, we have some special guests that are with us today. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell us where you're from?
Yes, we're going to start over here.
Eugene Mitchell, host of Here's the Thing podcast here. We've had you guys on, so we appreciate the reciprocation. Lifelong Detroiter and all-around great dad, husband, the whole nine.
All right,
Okay. All right.
Brandon Watts, I'm an engineer, 2 or 3s of the brain trust of Here's the Thing. I am the single young one of the group, and I'm glad to be here.
All right, yep. See how you brought that up?
Yeah, see.
Yes, thank you for bringing that out.
Single man. Carl Jackson, the other third of Here's the Thing podcast. Husband and father. Hopefully I can be as great as Eugene, but I'll let my people make that distinction.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good thing to have a nice balance of married, single, male, female, woman and man perspective on this hot topic today, because it's going all around. This is what everybody's talking about, so we should get into it too. We're talking about that 50-50 relationship, because you know, it's not just dinner, it's not just raising a family, who's managing the kids. And so no holds barred today, guys. We want to
talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to just ask, the first question is just yes or no. Okay? Number 1, are you pro 50-50 or not? Yes or no?
No qualifiers.
Yes.
Yes.
Against.
Yes, I'm for.
Okay. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. It's interesting how we have the 2 married, yes. Single, no.
Because it's perspective.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, it's perspective.
And I'm single. I say no.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, see, so we have
Got a dynamic here.
And I say yes.
Well,
Woo! We're talking about perspective.
So I think that we're really doing this, and so we're talking about because here's the reality. We're talking about, a lot of times when we talk about 50-50, it's about money, and money is a tool. Our work is literally helping us to make sure that we are putting in that work when it comes from the money perspective. So we're going to talk today about whether we think that the 50-50 is it just about money? Do you feel it's just about money?
No.
Okay. So what do you feel the 50-50, you know, we hear the 50-50 rule. From your perspective, what is it?
my personal opinion, I think it shouldn't just be a money thing. I think it needs to focus on the whole big picture, because it's not just money, it's health, it's mental health, and a bunch of other things that compile into that, where you contribute 60-40, 70-30, or 80-20.
Okay. So you said
Or
on some
51-49.
perspective, it should be 50-50.
It can be. It's a case by case, you know.
Okay. So why did you say yes, Carl?
Yes.
Because I was raised by Teddy Pendergrass. He says not 70-30 nor 60-40. It's a 50-50 love.
Love. Yes, tell it to.
You know, so, I mean, when you go into it, if you're going into a long-term relationship, and I'm thinking about, of course, like you said, perspective. If I'm going into a marriage situation, I anticipate us being together until we're not. and then, I mean, during that time, we gotta do everything 50-50. I mean, if it's like Brandon said, it's not necessarily just money, but I know there's some days where somebody's going to give more than the next, but in terms of the relationship overall, it needs to be split down the middle, or you're going to create resentment.
Ooh,
Okay.
resentment. I'm
Okay.
gonna hold on to that word.
Okay.
What
What is your
about over here on this end of the sofa?
For me, I mean, I think it's a maturity thing when you're talking about 50-50. I look at my marriage as a partnership. You know, my wife, she is the greatest. So where I'm weak, she's strong, and vice versa. And I think having 50-50, it doesn't necessarily mean you're not doing your part, so to speak,
Yeah.
but it's split. You know,
Okay.
because Carl, as you mentioned, you know, there are going to be days where one person can't handle it and the other person steps up. So it's interesting, though, that from the beginning of a relationship, though, that's something that I think you have to aspire to. You can't just jump into a relationship saying it's going to be 50-50. You
Yeah.
have to work up to that. So that's where I'm at.
So you
So
don't start it.
I saw a really good question, that because here's the debate. Here's the debate that's going around, and it's a relationship standard, right? And the question said is 50-50 a relationship standard or a man's quiet way of saying that he can't lead?
Woman wrote that question.
Exactly.
Who said that?
I got to cough a little bit. Wait a minute.
Okay. Okay. So why do you think that that's wrong?
Because the premise is off. Because leadership has nothing to do with relationship 50-50 splits. I mean, one, if it's a 50-50, if the man is the head of the household, and we're going to go, and we talked about this off air, if we're going by biblical principles and so forth, the man should be the head of the household. But in that, he's going to set a standard of, okay, this is how we're going to do things. Like Eugene was saying, I can do this, but I know I can't do this. Leadership is that. Leadership is still delegation. Leadership is saying, I'm strong in this area, but I may be weak in this area. Are you able to pick this up? And also, you have to hold, again, outside of the home, it's accountability.
Yeah.
I can be accountable. You have to be accountable. That's still 50-50. So it's not about, who's going to do stuff. What that is saying is like the man should do everything and the woman should sit back.
But see, even to that point, Carl, what I think is, to be a leader, you can't self-appoint yourself as a leader. You can say, okay, I want to be a leader, but you have to have buy-in. So if your wife or your partner doesn't buy in, then you're not going to be the leader. So then you've got two diametrically opposed views. I want to go this way, you want to go that way. So, to me, being a leader, it involves partnership because both of you have to say, okay, you can be the leader. Okay, cool, I'm going to be the leader.
Because if you have to tell somebody you're a leader, you're not.
There you go.
Yeah.
No. You definitely shouldn't have to announce it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's perspective. I remember going through marriage counseling before I got married, and one of the things that the bishop told me and my husband, well, my fiance at the time, was that marriage is about becoming one. So if you're not willing to care for the needs of your spouse and he's not willing to care for the needs of you, then if you all do that, then nobody's left out. But if you're not willing to give that percentage, or whether it's 50-50 or 100-100, whatever that is, if you're not willing to do that, there's something that's going to go lacking. So I think you have to go into the perspective of marriage saying that my job and my desire is to take care of your needs. And if he is looking at it from that perspective, then like I said, nobody's left out. Then you're actually thinking about it from that perspective. So when it comes to money, when it comes to whatever you face, if you're thinking about it from the perspective of what can I do to make sure that she's okay, and she's looking at it from the perspective of what can I do to make sure he's okay, then there's no lack at that point.
Yeah.
It's no problem at that point because you all are looking out for each other.
All right, listen, we got to set some ground rules here, I think. So before the show, we talked about the perspectives of where we're coming from. So we see here, we know there's been some years in marriage. We have a panel of believers who are using the Bible as our foundation for how we're entering relationships. But I want to hear from the single man here is sitting next to me, and although there's some difference in our seasoning, like how long we've been on this earth, I just want to talk about 50-50 from a perspective of whether you're going into a relationship. Because I said no. I said no, and I'm going to tell you why, but I want to hear from you first as far as why do you say no?
So I'll take it from the financial perspective. I mean, biblically and just historically speaking, we're supposed to protect, provide, et cetera, et cetera. I don't have to go into the huge thing of that. So automatically, as a single guy, if I'm dating whatever woman, I'm not going to say I'm going to come into this 50-50. Because again, like the guys mentioned, that playground has to get established later on down the road. We're a team.
Yeah.
But coming into it, you're gauging stuff, figuring stuff out, trying to even get to the baselines of compatibility. So that's where I get confused. Like on a baseline dating level, the 50-50 conversation comes up because, I was joking, like we're still figuring out favorite colors at that time. So it's a little too early for
I
that.
heard you say that. And I say no because just from where I stand, I refuse to allow someone to put a label and put a percentage on my perspective. So I don't even subscribe to the 50-50 because you can't put a number on. I may find some compatibility in a relationship that says, because I am a financial advisor, I'm going to manage the finances. Or because, and so that's not going to diminish the view that I have of the person if maybe he doesn't make as much as I do. Or maybe, so it's not going to be 50-50. It's going to be, we're going to find compatibility that's not going to have a number on it. It's going to be based on how we come together and build a relationship. And then we're going to establish that in our dating. We're going to establish that in our dating. And I'm not going to be looking for 50-50, and he better not be looking for 50-50. It's going to be established based on how compatible we are in our finances, and just whatever we bring to the relationship. That's why I say no. Yeah.
That sounds like B.
That sounds like you.
You said that sounds like him.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know it's the money thing and it's controversial and they put a label on it, but I approach politics the same way. You're not gonna bifurcate me into Democrat
Yeah.
or Republican. My views are my views, and I get to choose based on what I want.
Exactly. I definitely agree with that. I
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. So another thing that's going around is the third date money interview. Okay, the trend is that people want people want financial check-ins by the third date. So credit score,
by the
debt,
third date.
savings. Now, do you think that that's responsibility or being responsible, or you think it's invasive? What do you think?
Why would
I've
you?
never heard of this for one.
And you out
As
there.
an active date,
You said it's an active dater.
that's what we just gonna call it. I mean, for me, the third date is more so a woman trying to figure out where she wants to go before we talk about finances. I'm not opposed to it, but that's ridiculous. I see the intentions behind it, but that's more so, in my opinion, like when we're serious, because I'm supposed to tell you my salary on the third date.
Isn't that something we're kind of doing when we first meet? We're like, so what you do? What business?
I'll tell you what I do, but I'm not telling you my gross income.
We're collecting information, like getting the idea if based on.
But third date?
By the third date, brother's trying to hit.
Yeah,
I'm not
I didn't say
trying
nothing about that, but I didn't.
B,
No.
But if you're trying to hit, should the woman be able to get that credit score, that debt or savings? Because what if something
for
happens?
years without the
if
credit
you got
score.
game, you ain't telling none of that. You
It's
still
happened
gonna
for
hit.
years without
Third
the
date?
job or the credit
I'm
score.
just saying.
Well, I think that's the point. Is it's getting beyond having game, right? So it's like
But by the
Third
third
date?
by the third date. You just said by the third date. You're trying to get more intimate. It's too invasive.
That's too invasive.
Exactly.
By the
But
third date.
being intimate is not too invasive.
Wow.
That's
But
what we
being
do. We
intimate is not-
dating. That's what people do
And
today.
I guess it
Okay.
depends. It depends on your perspective. So, Eugene said third date. I'm 30 years married, so I know things.
No.
are different.
I said brothers.
dating with
out here,
intention,
I
you're
have
dating with
I have
intention.
friends,
Yeah.
single friends
And I
that
get it.
that's
but third,
their rule.
but I would more, Brandon is the one that's third date. I mean, what are you
Not
doing on
bring
your
my
third
W
date?
too. That's
What
my.
do you-
Okay, but so in
You trying to hit
turn,
by third
are you
date,
trying to
though?
hit by third date?
We're set.
Oh,
we're dating.
all right.
B, okay.
I'm dating with intention on my third date. We gonna
dating
put it
with
like that.
And the intention is to hit, right? I'm
I'm not a.
I'll plead the fifth.
But if you saying
I can plead the
intention,
fifth.
I still don't think I'm dating with intention by the third date. I mean,
I'm
not
dating with
like,
intention before the first date.
That's the female perspective. Because if I'm thinking that
Right.
I need to,
You're gonna be by yourself for a minute.
if you're
'cause
thinking that
I have
you
been.
may think that it's long term.
I have been.
That if I'm going out with you and I'm trying to develop this relationship, I'm dating to marry.
Yeah.
Fair.
I mean,
Right.
But
So
we
if you're
have
saying if you're dating with intention and you're dating to marry, right?
Yes.
guess.
So if she's trying to collect data, because that's really what dating is, it's collecting data about this person to see if I want to proceed.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel that asking like, your credit score, things of that nature are too evasive?
I'm
On the
gonna
third
say
date.
yes because I see what you're getting at, what's
Wow.
trying to piece together. So I'll tell a woman what I do for a living, and that's been good enough for me to say if I'm gonna deal with this guy, because what I do for a living, they can use their brain and say, okay, he's all right. I don't
so
work
they
at
can't
McDonald's.
ask you what your 5-year plan is.
Somebody did, and where they at? But what I'm saying is,
where are they? Where are they?
I don't know. So what I'm saying is,
Cause I asked somebody that.
What date were you on? What date numbers?
This has had to be like the third or fourth day.
what's up with this third date number?
Yeah, it had to be the third, cause I don't want to waste my time, and I'm not dating. And look, I'm dating with intention. I'm not dating to be married right now. I'm not looking for a husband.
But you're looking for a relationship.
If I want to be in a relationship with someone, I want to know what you do. I want to know what your background look like. What do your finances look like? I do. I want to, and I'm going to share that information with you.
And
as
So-
well.
I heard you say this too. The question, she would want to know. These are questions. If it's the third date, this is going to be a meeting of the minds. So
Yeah.
they would want to know.
and
So the
they-
man and the
exactly.
woman is going to have to, again, 50-50.
Exactly.
We're going to have to bring all of our documents to the table, and then we both can make a decision.
Trying to eat my steak dinner.
I asked someone the
You gotta
5
get some
year.
play, right?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And oh my God, I think a demon came up. I mean, his face contorted. And
Sorry that happened to you.
Oh
Because we already know what he was thinking. And it wasn't that.
no. What was?
well, you know what?
He wasn't
What I
thinking
think it
about. He wasn't
was.
thinking about that plan.
What I
right?
think it was, I think what it was when I thought about it, I was like, he was going through a terrible divorce, right? He was going through a
should've been
terrible
on the date.
divorce, and the ink hadn't dried on the whatever the
He was trying to get
court
through
order.
day 5. You
Yeah,
talking about
yeah,
year
yeah.
5.
And I was like, oh, he's traumatized. He needs to go to therapy. He needs to be in therapy. Because after these questions that I'm asking are healthy questions.
Okay.
I'm just asking about you. What do you plan on doing? Are you gonna you were planning for retirement? Are you planning for a vacation? You got a bucket list that you
So,
know.
okay, with questions like that, though, I have to imagine that these are age appropriate. Because, B, at 30, are you looking to see, well, what's your credit score, this, that, and the third? You out here trying to have fun.
Yeah, and I was like, I get where they're going, but my thing is, okay, if I see a barista that work at Starbucks and I like her, I'm gonna take her out. I'm not about to ask the barista, what's your salary? What's your retirement plans?
Because you kind of already know.
Yeah, so I feel like I look at it like that way. Now, if it's a neurosurgeon, again,
You
I don't
kinda
have to ask
already
those
know.
questions.
Because
But
you kind of already
yeah, so
know.
that's the way I look at it. I don't
don't
feel
know,
like I
'cause-
have
So
to.
she a daycare provider. You want to figure these things out.
Like I said, I'm always making sure I'm okay. So I'm established whether it's she got a daycare center in Nebraska.
No, I said daycare provider. I didn't say she owned a daycare center.
That's the difference.
That's the difference.
A daycare. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm a little slow on that one. But let's be real. Let's be real. I think that, it may not be popular to say, but we're thinking about it. We're concerned about it because it affects our livelihood. It affects whether or not every single time you go out or how you're going to date, or even the perspective. Because, okay, I shared with you all that I watched the opening, the episode of Ready for Love. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I was set in Detroit, and man, it was quite exciting to see them, around town. But some of the questions, or just the setting of the show, is how you're interacting and mingling and how you're creating conversation, whether or not someone found you interesting, whether or not they found that you were probing or, getting into their private information too soon, all that kind of stuff, and people who they found that they wanted to talk to again. But what I thought was interesting were a lot of the questions or a lot of the commentary that the women were giving, the young ladies, and they were like their mid to early 40s, mid 30s, early 40s. It was all about, if he don't have no money, if he can't date, I can't date him. And I just kept hearing
but
that.
in a situation like that, what are they bringing to the table? That's what I don't understand. You telling me what you want. You want to get the bag that he has to have. Well, what about, what are you bringing to the table?
So do you feel like that's a traditional role? Like that women, if they are traditional per se, where they want to be taken care of, they want to be housewives, they don't necessarily want a career type of thing, that they really want a man that's going to be able to provide a certain lifestyle for them.
They want to dress and rest. That's what they want to do.
Okay, what's that?
And rest.
They want to dress and because
Sack chasers?
Dress,
Take it back?
go.
Hey, back to the 80s, baby. Because here's the
Gold
thing.
digger, what?
Here's the thing. When you say be provided for, I can pay for a nice little house. It could be a bungalow on the west side. I can pay the light bill, the gas bill, take care of cable. I can, put food on the table and pay the car note. You're being provided for. Now, can I buy the Louis bag? Can I get the Gucci boots? I might not be able to do all those things. So, am I looked at, it's like, oh, well, you can't do nothing for me. I just said I can keep you fed and warm. You're being provided for. So what do you want? Do you want that extra? Do you want, like you said, a particular lifestyle? Mm-hmm. Because I might be able to take care of you, but I can't provide this lifestyle. So am I a bum now? What you want, and be honest with it, I want to dress and rest, baby. So if you want to do that, you might go to the next dude.
Don't you believe that the dating, because now we're going to get into the marriage part, the dating sets the tone for the marriage?
Absolutely.
So if you know somebody is looking, that's what they're looking for, you have to prepare yourself, like if you're going to move forward with that person or not, right? Or if you do move forward with that person, having some type of agreement. That may be where, if you're willing to provide a lifestyle, but you're saying that as long as we're together.
An agreement or a contract?
Agreement or a contract. So that's where sometimes prenups come up.
Contract.
Yeah, marriage is an ultimate contract, because it's definitely honored
is.
By law.
Yeah.
And
it's
when
divine.
it breaks up, it's by law.
Yeah.
So those things are that. But there are the concepts of prenuptial agreements in Michigan. They are considered just contracts from the perspective of, you can agree to divide property in a certain way, but Michigan is no fault divorce, which means that it's not based on anybody's fault, infidelity, or anything like that. It's based on just that the marriage is broken down and you can move forward with divorce. But the point of property does start at the point of marriage.
Yeah.
As far as with that. So you can't have an agreement to say, like, what I brought into this marriage, I want to make sure that I keep that. Or I can provide you with the lifestyle, but if we're no longer together, that lifestyle, that stops. That stops.
I think
so from that perspective,
I think the natural entrance into a relationship is you're looking at the benefit. You're looking at the benefit, be it physical, be it emotional, be it material, covering, whatever it is. But as we get into those stages leading into the marriage, marriage is a contract. So you need to know what's in this contract. What am I agreeing to?
Yeah.
What am I entering into for the rest of my life, per se? I'm saying I'm going to enter into this for the rest of my life. And so now, how are we going to maintain the contract? What kind of communication are we going to have financial dates, or are we going to have financial fights?
Yeah, and it's real because it's something that happens. But you have to make. I know in my from my perspective, I think you have to make a decision every day to work on marriage. You have to make a decision every day to say that I'm going to do what I need to do in order to make sure that I am communicating, that I am, trying to make sure that my spouse understands, what my needs are, what's happening, and things of that nature. You have to be intentional, even when you're married. I feel like dating, you have to be intentional, but even in marriage, you have to be intentional about things. And when things come up, instead of letting things surface, because communication is very important in a marriage.
So I have a question for you guys. As we talk about and enter into the conversation about the marriage perspective, but I know we have some folks here who have some experience. So here's the question. When a woman is financially independent, do men feel less needed or do men feel challenged?
I would say neither. I mean, just speaking from my perspective, I grew up in a house full of independent women, my mom and my sister, so it doesn't bother me. I mean, I look at it as if she makes more, that's another toy I can get. She might be able to give me that Lambo or that 925, but
Hallelujah.
I don't look at it that way. I mean, I'm good with it. And if you are secure within yourself as a man, then you're looking at it as we, not her, me, but we.
We.
So,
The two become one.
yeah, so she got that
I
six-figure
wish my
job.
wife was Oprah. I had Oprah money at least.
There you go.
Like you said, we came up.
It's not high. We did real
We
good.
doing good. I think that men who are secure in who they are not going to be intimidated or feel some type of way if their woman is more financially independent, even when they meet, when they're in a relationship. If they can do, I feel better because it's less pressure on me. I mean, I got my own. I don't need you to go out and quote unquote take care of me. Covering is one thing.
Yes.
Love is another thing. Companionship. We have someone to grow together and build together. But I'm not going, if you bring in $6 and I only got 25 cents, hey, we both getting a little.
We got
we got
$6.25.
to split that Happy Meal, and we both gonna eat. So
Right.
so
That's why the
Yeah.
50-50 don't work here as a number, but it's more of a perspective of we're one.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it's
that's
gonna
how we have
take
to
a
think
little
about it.
it's gonna take a little something based on where we are in that season, because we change. As time go, I'm not that person you married. You're not the person that I married 20 years ago. We've changed. We've grown in different areas. Our perspectives have changed, and our work is just trying to build a life together. So
And I think marriage should be the ultimate help to each other. I think you should become your best self within marriage. You should. I think that if a marriage is healthy, then you're pushing each other to become. So if you were going to take that risk and now be financially independent and really make that money, within that marriage relationship, I think that should be the ultimate push for each other. So it shouldn't be just about, okay, well, they're going to be making more than me, or they're going to be making, if you're thinking about it, that we're one, if I make it, we make it, like we talked about. So I think that if we look at it from the perspective of, it's just not just her making more money or him doing this, it's us doing this.
Yeah,
And
that's
we're
beautiful.
becoming better together.
Yeah.
And that's how the relationship should be. And I think that's what we strive for it to be.
yeah. What about I'm gonna challenge y'all a little bit here. What about hiding money?
With a separate account.
Yeah. The way your accounts are set up.
that's two different things.
There you
All
go.
right.
Yeah.
How so? How so? I mean, we know that a lot of women talk about how our mothers have told us, girl, always have some money set aside.
Have a little
Always,
stash.
yeah, have your stash, and you guys, might be aware of that. So, how do you approach finances? What's your perspective as far as communication, shopping? Then we got a hat. We got a
about
hat.
that.
Our badge.
Shopping.
I believe
don't
in
know.
joint and separate accounts. So there's a joint account for, again, once you've decided upon what household expenses that you're going to share. I don't believe in hiding shopping because, again, I believe in a separate account. So if you got money over here and you come in with, bags, okay. I mean, if you're working. Now, if the woman's not working, that's a different thing because then you have to make some decisions like you can't. Here's your budget, and the same thing with a man. He has to do the same. I have a budget for what we're going to spend outside of our household finances.
Okay, wait. What's the budget? Is there like a big? You don't have to give me numbers, but are there certain like ticket items? Because my purse
The
or
Louis
my
bag.
shoes may not cost as much as a TV.
$49.99.
The Louis bag is not, is not in the budget.
It's not a budget. Okay.
The Gucci bag, the Gucci whatever. Somerset was that North.
Okay.
Somerset North.
The other side,
The other side is not in the budget.
You
If you're
cross
not
the
from
bridge.
Michigan,
Not cross the bridge.
yeah,
Right.
it's,
So you
it's
said
one.
Oh,
The
man.
mall got two sides. You can shop on the one side. On the other
Right.
side is off
The
limits.
North
if you on
Mason
this budget.
side, you
Yeah,
can have
you
on that
good.
side. You good.
But
Let's go.
the North, the Neiman Market side, you can't go over there.
Okay. I heard something from over here.
No, I budgets. For instance, with me and my wife, she handles all the finances. We have a joint account, which is everything household, and then we have separate accounts. Big ticket items, yeah. I know now that you have to discuss them.
Because see, men get in trouble too.
Yes, and
That's why I brought it up.
I just
That's why I brought it up because you can't
yeah.
hide a motorcycle. You can't
hide a Corvette either.
can't
You
hide
can't
a
hide a
Corvette.
Corvette.
You can't hide nothing with four wheels.
Right.
I just found out you cannot hide a Corvette.
That was a memorable moment, right?
What is the
It's a learning experience.
what is that activity like? Is it comfortable to sit down and have financial? Yeah, do you do it on a regular basis? And because it's important. It's
I mean,
important.
for me, my wife and I have been blessed to be comfortable. She handles the finances, and she can tell me if something's going on, but I trust that she's doing what needs to be done. We've had these talks in the past, so now I don't have to worry about it. If every other week my check is going into the joint account, is going into my side account, and the same for her. So everything's taken care of, and I learned years ago to ask questions. I had friends, a female friend of mine some years ago, she was married, her husband took care of all the bills, next thing you know, they're bankrupt. She had no clue.
Yeah.
So, it takes communication. And, thankful enough, again, my wife is a wonderful steward of the funds. So, she does a good job, and I don't worry. I tell her all the time, if something is short, let me know. But thank goodness it's never been short. So, and as long as I can turn them lights off and on and the mortgage and stuff, we good. So, yeah, I think that comes from a place of trust, and you have to get to that point. And when you're talking about marriage, it's work. It is work.
It's the ultimate trust. It's the ultimate control. It's the ultimate giving of yourself to someone else and it's the ultimate vulnerability too.
Yeah.
Because this person knows the most that anyone would ever pretty much know about you in life.
Yeah.
Good, bad, everything. And we make a decision to love each other, through that. And it's a lot from that perspective.
Definitely. I like what y'all saying. Okay, I love it. I'm gonna challenge you a little bit on this part, and that is, what about when it's time to go to another level, or how do you approach your goals, your financial goals as a husband and wife or as a couple? Because you set up these joint accounts, you have your separate accounts, you set some boundaries as far as big ticket items or things that are going to break the budget or what have you. We're going to discuss those things. How about when it's time to, sell the house and move, get another property, or make some big financial moves? If you aren't having regular meetings to discuss what the plan is, or make an assessment of this is what we're working with, or looking back. I love how you talk about how your family do a review,
We do a yearly review.
year review of what worked,
What didn't
what
work.
didn't work, or life is changing, y'all. We're gonna have to do this, make some changes. We're getting ready to sell the house and we're getting ready to buy another property or what have you. And now we're gonna have to buckle down and we're gonna have to make some adjustments in the finances, and we're gonna start putting money into this account for the down payment. You know, some things like that. How do you approach going to the next level in your financial lives as a married couple?
I'm one of those people, and I guess in my marriage, I'm one of those people who will say, "This is what we got. This is what we got to do." I don't have no money for other things, so I don't have a problem with that. I think that with the conversation comes into, for example, and I'll just say if we're buying a car, I'll go into a dealership and I'll say, "This is how much I want to pay per month." I don't care what you show me. You know, guys, the salespeople come out and say, "This car got this bells and whistles, and you want to test drive." How much is it per month? That's what I want to know. Because you're not going to sell me on all this other stuff and then come up with, I'm not that guy. So when you're going into, same thing with homes, you're going into a house and you say, "Oh, well, this house they've got this." How much is it? Because you're not going to sell me with all this other accoutrement trying to get me to pay more money.
Right.
Now, my wife is a little bit different. She likes bells and whistles, and she'll look at things.
Yes, we
but
do.
the conversation is going to be even before. It's almost like with the little kid. Now, when we go in here,
You ain't got
this
no
is
money.
how much we gonna spend. I don't
money.
care what these folks say. So, she's more, she thinks of being rude. Me have being in sales in my previous lives, I would rather somebody tell me up front than me waste their time, because I don't, if you say this is what I'm going to spend, I can sell you all day and say all these pretty words. If they really mean what they say, they're going to walk away at the end of the day if I don't meet their price. I'm that guy. And I will tell the person up front, don't try to sell me. Here's what I'm going to do.
Right. You lay the groundwork. How does that translate to, again, the 5-year plan? Where do we see ourselves in 5 years, husband? Where are we going?
Well, for me, most things financial, I defer to my wife. So if she's saying this is a good idea, fine, let's go with it. I trust her in the sense that I know she's not going to do any harm to the family. I will ask her to explain things to me if I don't understand. And as men, a lot of times, if we hear a good idea and it's coming from our wives or our partner, we might not necessarily say it's a good idea, because we want to make sure we coming up with the good ideas. But I trust my wife to the point
I'm so
where,
glad you admitted to that.
hey, she will come and say, "Hey,
Right.
I've been looking at this," or I've got a financial advisor for this, that, and the third in different accounts. So again, I'm thankful that she does, and I follow her lead in those instances. But we will sit down and talk. As a matter of fact, we in the process of getting a new house now, so we gotta make sure that we time when we sell our current house, and this, that, and the third. So realizing that certain things are going to be cut out once we get into this new house, we're fine with it.
Yeah, we're on the same page. Yeah.
And that's important. Yeah, it's important to be on the same page and like you said, have those tough conversations and talk about what everybody's goal is and how people handle money. Sometimes it's really that book back in the day, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus type of thing. How we approach, sometimes how we approach money. Like my husband is all cash. All those things. He's like, why we gotta get these credit cards? Why we gotta do this? Why we gotta do that? But we ended up compromising when it came to getting our house and things of that nature, because those were things we had to kind of talk about. And I had to sit down and kind of explain why it's important to have credit and why it's important to build those things up. So it's just making sure that we're listening to each other and trying to make decisions together.
Yeah.
It's always that the best way to handle it.
It's hard conversations, and I think when you think about, since you say you do have a desire for marriage,
Yeah.
I'm a fight.
So convincing.
I'm gonna believe you, and I'm a financial advisor. So my whole mindset is the plan. not just for today. And so I want to pull out of you where are you going to be in 5 years? Okay, I got this year, and that you plan to be in a new home next year, sold your home. Okay, what happens after that? What happens with the funds that are set aside? Are they working towards another goal? Is there still children to be married off or tuition to be paid? If not, what are we doing as a family in 10 years? And then I also look at 30 years when you retire, when you get ready to retire, or 25 years when you get ready to retire. How much is your Social Security gonna bring in? How much is your Social Security gonna bring in? Your pension, you got pension, your 401k, and how much we gonna be pulling from that? Are we gonna have some guaranteed income? Are we gonna have some properties that are gonna provide income for us? I'm talking about planning that far out, and I think that
The fourth date.
that's marriage.
This is not the dating pool I am in. This is not
I'm
my
not in that
dating
dating
pool.
pool.
This is not the
But
dating
it's a skill.
pool
It's a
I've
skill that
experienced.
right. It's a skill that you start developing before you get into the contract. I believe it's a skill, and it shouldn't be looked at negatively. I think that's how you should approach life. You can have fun. You can have fun.
Yeah. That's all
Have
right.
fun first.
I do not experience this in the dating pool. That's just.
Uh-huh.
I respect the questions, but yeah, when I go out and meet a woman and talk to them, I'm not hearing that. So that's foreign to
No,
me.
what you hear is, so how much money you make?
Somebody's asked you to be.
Technically, they haven't put numbers, but it's like, what's the round? You know.
So we have to quantify something though. Brandon likes the finer things
What?
in life.
Whoa.
So
Okay.
when
You're
Brandon
talking about
when
the
Brandon
level of-
goes on dates, he's going to places where the young lady
already
is
said
going to
steak.
bring something out and say, "Oh, you can afford this? What do you do?" so
So maybe I bypass those questions,
so
possibly.
yeah, I mean, you know, and
I just rephrase. I just was directing to the point, but we know how to be roundabout. I mean, I think that by asking you, so what do you do? So what do you do?
I think that's a good enough measure.
But
though.
there's a way to ask that too, because I mean, for me, my middle name is Speculate. So you say hi to me, I'm like, okay, what's your angle? So if and
Why you say
thank
hi like
goodness
that?
I'm not in the dating
Hello.
pool, but B, I mean, can you say if somebody said something like that to you, well, what do you do? If she says it in a particular tone, do you take offense to it, or do you say to yourself, next?
No, like years ago, I remember I dated one woman, and I think this was the second or third date, and she was kind of going that way, what she said, but she was like, I want to be a housewife. I don't want to work. And I was like, oh.
Straightforward.
oh wow.
So
well,
I
thank
was
you.
gonna tell you what.
Well, see, I'd
So yeah,
appreciate
you
that.
get that sometimes, but
check,
it's still,
please.
it doesn't jump to.
I won't be calling you back.
So yeah, I think I've encountered more of that than what's your 5-year plan. It's like, this is what I want, and then I get to the point where I can drop and can say, okay, you know, this was nice, but I won't be going out with you next weekend.
Because you don't want a housewife.
I mean,
You want to help make that choice, don't you?
I wouldn't mind it, but don't come out first date on that Friday. I want to be a housewife. That's my thing.
that's a
like, you gotta work
50-50
your
thing
way
to
up
me.
to that. I can't just.
I mean, I can appreciate honesty
But
because
that's a little bit.
But you're going to be at home by yourself a lot of
me.
Friday nights.
You'll find somebody. Won't be me.
Yeah.
yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, so we're gonna get into some rapid fire questions. Okay, y'all ready?
Some of them y'all already kind of
Yes,
go
some of
ahead.
them
go
y'all
ahead.
already answered. So I'm gonna do first. I think that you all kind of answered this. Joining house in marriage, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Fee.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
Prenup. Yes or no?
Rapid fire.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
If you
no.
hesitate, okay, you're out.
Yes? Question mark?
Go ahead, B.
Yes?
Go ahead.
Question mark?
No.
Okay, okay. All right. Finance date every month. Should you have a finance date every month in marriage? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
That's painful.
But you ain't supposed to answer it.
Why
That was
answer?
us.
That is painful.
Oh my God.
It's Friday. We about to
Especially
relax
not
after the
during
weekend. We
football
gonna talk about
season.
finances.
I'm straight.
Okay. Soft life. That's what she was saying. She said I want a soft life.
Eugene first.
What is a
Soft
soft
life.
life?
Should a man provide 100% if he asks for traditional roles? Yes or no?
Hell no.
I haven't even looked at you yet.
No. No.
Rapid fire.
Yes or no? Rapid fire.
No question mark.
No,
Question mark.
Yes or no?
Yes or no?
He's like, no.
I said no, and it's a little question mark in the
Yes.
subtitles.
You can't be
Soft life
Switzerland on
is for
this,
your
bro.
child. It ain't for your wife.
It's conditions on that.
Put that on a t-shirt.
It's
Oh,
conditions.
wow.
What you say?
Put that on t-shirt.
Yes or
I'll
no?
say it.
You said no.
No. No.
Okay.
No.
Reveal credit score before engagement. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
That should be
You had to digest that one.
that should be disclosed before marriage. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Your biggest marriage money deal breaker. Debt, secrecy, or disrespect. I'm going to repeat it. Your biggest marriage money deal breaker. Debt, secrecy, or disrespect.
Debt.
Disrespect. Disrespect.
All right. In a 50-50 marriage, since I think the married guys both said 50-50, choose one word. Equal or equitable?
I say equitable.
I'll say equal.
Give me equitable.
Okay.
Okay. Because there is a difference. Yeah, equitable. That changes it, right?
Yeah. So
Listen, this has been good.
This has been good,
Very
yeah.
enlightening. And that, I mentioned that I'm single now. I'm widowed. I was married for 23 years, and the the financial date was so painful for my husband. It was so painful. I don't know why.
Pulling
it was so
teeth.
painful.
Pulling teeth.
The pulling teeth part was just getting him to the table. But after we sat down and it wasn't that he was upset with me. You know what he was upset about? How much stuff costs. He was upset about how much it costs to live for our lifestyle. It just was painful to look at. It wasn't painful for our relationship. The resentment wasn't towards me. The resentment was towards DTE, Consumers Energy, the phone bill.
I didn't know your husband, but I think
We
I love
understand.
that. Yeah,
We
I
understand.
it 100%.
Right? The resentment, but if you're going to, and I would tell him this, if we're going to be in charge, we have to look at it. We got to look at our investment accounts. We got to, how else will we know when we go to the car show, when you get ready to buy that next toy, that it fits in our budget? How do we know if we don't look at it?
Oh, that car gonna fit.
But see with that though, okay. But no, here's the thing with that though. If you can afford that car with your money that you have in your account, then it shouldn't be an issue, right?
can afford it, maintain
But
it.
we planning to sell we planning to make some big moves in a few years. And the funds that so now I need you to put more towards that goal versus buying more toys in this season, right?
But what if
And
you can
that's
afford both, though?
That's the conversation that we have when we sit down and talk. Let's be on the same page instead of you coming home like, honey, guess what I did? Or look what I bought. And I'm like, didn't you remember? Didn't you remember that we said we were gonna buy that, or we're gonna take that Mediterranean cruise or whatever that cost this much? That's living. But what
4
you're
days
saying,
instead of 7.
There you
This is
go.
why I say work hard. This is why I say work hard.
And while you're on that cruise, you have a financial date.
This is why.
You better not.
Oh
This is
no.
why it's so difficult. This is why it's so painful. Because y'all don't want to cooperate.
I think a lot of it is,
We
though,
gotta
seeing it in
live.
black and white. And, you know, it's kind of like when you looking at your credit report back in the day. And you're like, damn, I should have did this. But you see it in black and white, you're like, okay. You automatically start saying, I could have gone this way as opposed to going that way. So,
I had a conversation with my mother not too long ago. My father passed last year, and
I'm sorry.
I'm looking at all the things that he bought,
Yeah.
and we were just talking, and she even said it. She said, "You know, he had a good time." I said, "Yeah, he did," and I mean, like, he had a lot of toys, and I never really looked at it until, you know, he's gone, because he like was very protective of his things. But now it's like, oh, he had this and he had this. So I started thinking to myself, I want to have a good time too.
I'm not
gotta
trying to
live.
I'm not trying to take away from your fun, but what I see when I see a new toy, I see new maintenance. It costs money to have a boat, to put the boat in the water, to store it. It takes away from other. Yes, come on. It takes away from other experiences. You have everything comes with you got to have the capacity, the ongoing capacity to maintain all those things, all those toys.
so see, that's how you guys think. A lot of times women will, you know, think
Yeah.
like that. But men, we are in the here and now.
Yeah.
And yeah, so.
And that practicality serves well.
does.
There's
Yeah,
a
it
place.
balances.
What
There's
it
a time and a
does,
place
it
for that.
creates balance. It creates balance. And the only way we get that balance is we got to come to the table and we got to talk about it so
Every
we
month,
can.
though?
No.
Like on Friday, Friday night, you worked all week and we gotta have a
We
time.
taking them too fast, I think. We taking them too. Okay,
But then also,
about
what
quarterly?
you have to realize,
Annual. I like the annual. You said the
every
year
now and
review.
then, we
I
gonna,
can do
The year
semi-annual.
review.
I can do every 6 months.
but every now and then, as men, we gonna fall off the wagon. So y'all, hey, you have to expect that. I can't be on the straight and narrow all the time.
We're going to
So-
fall off the wagon too.
We gonna buy something.
We're going to splurge. We're going to take shopping trips. We're going to buy that even though you
but
said
So
you
it's
know
okay
what?
if you bought a set of wheels because you had to shop.
it happens, but
Yeah.
we reset. You got to reset. You come back together.
Women's shopping trips are less than men's. I mean, you can
And
come
less
home
frequent.
you can come home with a whole lot of bags, and let's say you spend, I'll say $1,000. You can probably get, you know, a few
A
nice
lot of
things for
stuff. A lot of stuff.
We spend $1,000 on one pair of shoes.
I know.
And it's just priced that way.
I know.
I mean, if I had if I want to get the 9-layer gators, they just $9.95. I mean, and they may be on sale down from $1,200.
I do not
got a
like
deal.
men in gators. I promise you, I do not. Or fur coats. Everybody that went down to Dietrich.
Oh, yeah.
I can't
We were
stand
just talking about that.
Don't
I
go
They
outside right
restocking
want to
now.
make a trip
Huh?
myself.
Now,
See,
say
that's what I'm talking
they
about.
restocking. They sold out, but now
Right.
they
You know,
restocking.
but
Restocking.
y'all know
Isn't that
they
funny?
marked up the price because you know I
course.
went prior to
Right.
for the holiday.
Oh, that's how you do a sale.
And they had, and I was just like, this is the same stuff
That's
that
how
they
you do
they
it.
had just marked it.
It's
They marked it
50%
up to mark it down.
Right.
So yeah, just,
You, they,
just
right,
wait,
they
not-
say
But
save
you went to see
50%.
though.
but yeah, I did go to see.
Need to peek real quick.
But just understanding that I knew that they were going to mark it up, though. But just to see if it was.
She was doing research.
She was doing research.
research.
For the show. For the show.
I had to gather data. I gathered data.
You fiscally responsible.
I knew we were
else
going
will
to
you
talk about
know?
Dietrich today.
Right.
Guys. I knew we were going to talk about
See,
it.
see,
Okay?
it's all
I knew we
research.
were going to talk about it. It's my research project.
How
Okay?
else will you know if you're being got? If
Yeah.
you got,
Yes.
they marked it up. They
yes.
say save 50%, but you'll save 100%. You stay off.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
yeah.
But this was a great conversation. We talked about trust. We talked about transparency, and we talked about direction. We talked about a lot of different things today. But we wanted to just kind of, just maybe just have a final conversation. Maybe just have you all just kind of talk about just your perspective on. I know we talked about again about the 50-50 rule. We're going to kind of bring it back to that, and just for you all to kind of give us your final perspective on it.
Yeah.
Final perspective on the 50-50 rule. Like what would you want people to know about it? Should they look at it from a perspective like we're looking at it? Should they just totally forget about it? What do you think that people need to know about the 50-50 rule?
For me, it's partnership. You know, if you're gonna make a decision, then you guys sit down, you have a talk, effectively communicating. Trust is a big part of it. I mean, Eric, as you said before, we're all believers. You know, so trust is the foundation of faith in God. So trust should be the foundation of effectively communicating in a relationship. And if you've got 50-50, then nobody is above the other. You know, if you've got issues, then you talk about them. But again, I believe that that's a point that you want to attain to get to. You can't just hop into a relationship and be there. You have to understand that it's going to take work to get to that point. And having those tough discussions, even before you guys get married, will help.
Okay.
My 2 cents is we are humans. Everybody is going to be different. And everybody's situation, set up, whether it's financially, mentally, or even how responsible you are, is going to be different. So when you see us talk about 50-50, somebody else on YouTube, Kevin Samuels, whatever, pick what works for you
No, you didn't.
and stick with it. That's my 2 cents.
Eugene said that trust is really the key to it. And I think Urenia pointed something out. She said something that kind of triggered me too. Men being vulnerable, because when you enter into a marriage in particular, or go or start dating toward marriage, the man has to become vulnerable, and that's not easy for men. So once you say, okay, I'm going to allow myself to be vulnerable because I trust this person, at that point, that's when you say, okay, now we should be looking at a 50-50 relationship.
I mean, you're going to be crying if you're going
I
to be
said
vulnerable?
I didn't say
I-
emotional.
On them finance dates, you might.
The finance dates, yeah, you pulling me to the table.
Stoicism.
You pulling me to the table every month. I'm gonna be
Talking about DTE.
Laughing out, crashing out.
So yeah, so I think that if you're going to a point where you say, okay, I really trust this person, I'm ready to open up to this person, you should be looking at 50-50.
Listen, that's the key word for
Yes.
the day. Trust.
Trust.
This is the Trust Issues podcast. And I love that that's how we're ending on that note, because let me tell y'all what happens when trust enters the picture. When trust, according to the word of God, when trust enters the picture, we naturally move into our roles. We naturally move, and I want to submit to you.
Yeah.
When I trust you, we submit to one another. So that's our takeaway for today.
Yes.
Money and trust in relationships. Can we trust it? I believe we can. God set it up that way. It's divine. So this is gonna wrap us up for today. We did good.
We did good. This
Thank
was
you,
a
guys.
great. Thank you guys
Thank you
for
for having
joining
us.
us.
Yeah.
Yes, make sure you like and share and subscribe to Trust Issues. We have some great content that we are bringing to you, and we are so excited that we were able to get the male perspective today. We have some great gentlemen that were here with us and their podcast. And you tell us a little bit about your podcast before we get out of here.
It's called See, Here's the Thing. We've been together now going on, 2 years. So we've got a bunch of episodes out there. We talk about any and everything, you know, a lot of things that affect our community, and we give our perspective on how, you know, we can move to resolve those said issues. We have fun too, but yeah, that's it.
All right. See, here's the thing. Listen, the best thing you could do is the best way you could pay us is pay us attention. Subscribe, like, follow, share, tell folks about Trust Issues. Signing off. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, that's a wrap.